I feel about travel the way a new mother feels about her impossible, colicky, restless newborn baby. I just don't care what it puts me through because I adore it, because it's mine, because it looks exactly like me. It can barf all over me if it wants to. I just don't care.
Hi, Dayelle.
Hi, Amanda.
And a special guest from the Broad Abroad podcast. We have Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi. Thanks for having me on, Dayelle and Amanda.
Thanks for being on with us.
We couldn't do Eat, Pray, Love without our travel podcast companion.
Yeah, I was going to say guru or travel
You
guru.
are the travel podcast guru.
Yeah.
That's the highest
You're
compliment.
our katut.
You are? Oh, you could be my little katut. So what we're drinking today is fun because what I did for this one is I took ingredients from the 3 places that you travel in the book. So we've got an Indian style gin. Also, the name is really fun. It's Namaste Groni.
I know.
Nice.
So it's like kind of a Negroni, but we're going to use an Indian gin, an Italian sweet vermouth, Campari, and pandan syrup. If you have not had it, it's like a greenish color. And a little bit of cardamom and orange peel. And if you want to get real fancy, toasted coconut for the rim and a curry leaf. So cheers, because we don't have the cocktails. So pretend cheers.
Cheers.
And it was fun to make a cocktail for a book that's so unabashedly about all the food and cocktails that you can have while traveling.
Yeah, you could have gone real lazy with this one and just did red wine because she's always drinking red wine during Eat.
So
It's true.
So
That's
we're
true.
diving into Eat, Pray, Love, in case you weren't
I already did
wondering.
that.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
So we couldn't do Eat, Pray, Love without
I
Katie.
missed it. I'm traveling in my brain.
To
Right
which
now.
place are you traveling to?
Just La La Land today.
Well, the weather once again in New York is
It's
raining.
Great.
It's so sad. I'm
It's-
so over it.
It's so dreary and so blah.
But this will make us feel like we're in the jungle because if you can't tell, Dale has decorated the studio today with lots of green plants.
We're pretending like we're in Bali. That was my goal.
That's where we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I like it.
So a little bit about this. This is Eat, Pray, Love, written by Elizabeth Gilbert, who was a fictional writer. But this is her memoir,
Yeah.
which I'll be honest with you. I read this as soon as it came out, like hit the shelves, waited in line, got this book. And from a Borders bookstore. That's how long ago it was.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
And I was really excited about it. And it was at the perfect time where I was in that teenage years where you're like, am I going to go to college? Am I going to do the military? Am I going to travel? Which I couldn't travel. I was so poor. But like, big dreams.
Yeah.
And it had a real impact on me. Like really was like, oh, you can just like leave your life and go travel. Like that's a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
I've now learned that not really that is not a thing you can do, but you can travel.
You can travel, yeah.
You can. Yeah, I was doing some research for this, and that was one of the biggest criticisms of the book is like, the reason it blew up is because self-help books were really big, but the criticism is that it is pretty like elitist. You know, it's pretty privileged to have the funds to travel the world for a year.
But doesn't she say that in the interviews with Elizabeth Gilbert? She's very good on recognizing the fact that she's like, I am a white, wealthy woman who was able to do this. People cannot do this. Like I was able to, her words in an interview, she was like, I was able to fuck off for a whole year.
Yeah.
And do whatever I wanted.
But this is really interesting. I found this out. The book was actually supposed to be an article in GQ for starters, but her editors told her to go all in. And also, she got the advance for the book before she traveled.
Yes, and that's what she traveled with.
So I can understand why some people might feel like it was a little bit of a elite travel trip because she was given this money to go and travel and find herself through this adventure, which can be a little bit like I had read the book and then kind of like dove in a little bit more to find out a little bit more about Elizabeth.
But you both,
and
you both watched the movie first and had not read the book, right?
No, I had read the book.
Oh, because you had said you hadn't read it.
Yeah, no. I had not read the book in a very long time.
Okay.
So my mom had actually purchased
Of course
this
she
book.
did.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did tell me this
Yes.
story.
And so I had read it, but it must have been like something that I read but didn't actually absorb anything.
Obligation reading. Yeah, because you were told to read it.
And so when we decided to do this, I watched the movie first just to like spark a little interest, and then I reread it.
Also, fun fact about Dayelle, she loves Julia Roberts.
I am a Julia Roberts fan. Yeah.
Since Pretty Woman, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just appreciate she's very true to herself. Like when she started getting really popular in the industry, she laid out her like, I will not do this. You can pay me whatever you want to pay me, but I will not take my clothes off. I will not. And like, I think she kind of set a standard in the industry for women that like, you can be this stunningly gorgeous woman and you do not, like, your brains mean more than your looks kind of thing. But I also think like most of the projects that she's worked on, she always kind of finds these roles that fit so well. Like she plays them very well. I don't like I almost feel like she has a very similar vibe each time she's in a movie, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, same. This was her biggest box office opening since America's Sweethearts, which was like 2001, and this was 2010, I think.
Yeah.
So, but just to go back to the book, so this is, if you've been living under a rock since the 20-aughts.
Which maybe you have.
Sure. So this is the book about a woman who is an author who is married and basically doesn't want to have kids and is feeling really cocooned. And she has this line where she says something like, I had built this life, but why did I not want to be a part of like the life I had built? And, you know, the next step is to have kids. And she was like, I don't want that. And so she kind of has a breakdown in her bathtub and realizes she wants more out of life. And there's also a great scene in the movie, which I know we'll definitely talk about the differences, but there's a great scene in the movie where she's like, I want more, I want zest out of life. Like, I want to fall in love with my life again. Like, I'm not living my life. Like, I'm just existing. And man, did that hit hard. And also rereading this at so many years later, like, I didn't reread the whole book because I'd read it so many times, but just that I love the beginning part of this because there's such like you don't feel like you can do that as a woman, right? Like you don't feel like you get that opportunity. You've done the thing. You have the career, you have the husband, you have the kids, you have the houses. That's what you do. Yeah. To just say like, no, I want more. A guy can do that. They do it all the time. They have midlife crises and they just leave their wives and go get a new family with a younger wife. You know, but it's very rare for a woman to do that, and they're going to be judged like crazy, like she was. Yeah. But there's something to be said about the way that she's pretty vulnerable in this book, being a memoir, to say, like, it was shitty. What I did to my husband, that was shitty.
Yeah, and I think, too, like, it was something that I picked up on right away is the scene where she's in the bathroom. Like, she wants to kill herself. Like, she gets to a point where she wants to kill herself. And I read in the notes of the book that her initial, like when she first wrote those chapters, she didn't want to put that she wanted to kill herself. She didn't want to deal with the suicide stuff. And her editor was like, no, you need to be really truthful because your readers are going to want to know how you got to the point that you got to. And if you're not being fully transparent and truthful about what you're going through, like, how did you get to the point that you got to? And then you were able to, like, make these decisions. And, like, instead of going down that path that you could have done, you decided like, no, I can get out of this. I can change my life. I can, stop living the life I don't want to be living.
And then she decides to go on this year-long journey where she eats and goes to Italy, where she just falls in love with eating. And then you've got that really wonderful scene that we can dive in more later when Julia Roberts is like, I'm in a relationship with my pizza. Yeah. And she's like making love to her pizza. And when the movie first came out, this just goes to show how much we've grown as women. And Katie, you can definitely tap onto this because when you're traveling, right, like you are there and your rules for life go out the window. Like your diet doesn't matter. Like your schedule does not matter. You are on vacation. But she says this is more, correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't get to this part in the book, but more movie forward. I don't know if it happens in the book where the girl that she's made friends with is like, I can't do it. I've gained 10 pounds.
Yeah, it's not in the book at all. Which is interesting because in the movie that is such a
I
pivotal
remember
point.
watching that in 2010 and feeling very empowered as a woman and being like, yeah, when has a guy ever been like, nope, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Look at how naked and gross you are, 10 pounds heavier.
Right. No, she does talk a ton about gaining the weight, but she never.
I remember that, yeah.
The whole pizza thing, that doesn't happen in the book. She does go through it on her own. Like, she's thinking these thoughts.
Yeah.
And then she gets to a point where she's just like, I'm just going to buy the bigger pants.
But rewatching it, it's kind of icky where it's like, it's kind of like, the only thing that matters about your body is whether a man likes it when you're naked.
Yeah.
But I remember being young, being like, this is so empowering. And then as an adult being like, young ladies.
I said to Katie the other day when we were like prepping for doing this episode, I was like, what were your feelings on that? Like, as a younger, we're way older than Katie is, and I feel like women today, that's not how they talk to themselves. That's not how they treat themselves. Or at least we're more like self-aware of like when you talk to yourself like that, it's very negative and like don't put those thoughts in your head kind of thing. Whereas when you see it in a movie where they're talking about muffin tops and like going and buying fat jeans, it's like, no, just go and buy a larger size. That's okay. The number is just that. It's a number.
Yeah, I'll say I loved the book, but not everything in the movie or book aged super well. The weight stuff. She calls children gypsies in Italy, which is not something we do anymore. But that's pretty recently we've decided we don't do that anymore. So the book is not without its shortcomings. Overall, I will say off the bat, I loved it. I actually enjoyed the book a lot more than I thought I was going to. But yeah, the body image stuff is a little bit icky at parts. She never says what weight she's at, which I respect, but she says like the exact number of pounds she gains, and like it's not even a question if she's gonna lose it or not. She's like, I will lose it, and so that's the only way she can make peace with it. Whereas I feel like now we can gain weight and have peace with, I may not lose this weight. And so she's not. I didn't love the weight stuff in the Italy chapter.
You know what's funny about that is one of the biggest like critiques of the movie, the book to the movie, is the fact that in the movie they gloss over a lot of the weight stuff in Italy, which I thought was really interesting because I was like, that's not my takeaway. Like, I thought they put a lot of the weight stuff in the movie, but when you're reading the book, she's internalizing a lot of the stuff.
Yeah, because it's first person in the book, right? So you're getting a lot of her internal thoughts, her internal monologues.
She talks about her body a lot throughout the entire
whole book.
Her
Constantly.
divorce made her lose weight, and then in India she talks about eating a lot, and like her freaking friend calls her groceries, which like, come on.
I know.
That's so shitty.
I know.
That part's so shitty.
Like, really?
What? There was a comment, I think it was like a blog or something, and someone said that, because it's the guy from Texas, I can't remember his name at the moment, Richard from Texas.
Yeah.
He earned the right to nickname her groceries. And I was like, I'm sorry, is this a man writing this comment?
Also hilarious because it's Richard Jenkins who's calling her that, who's like a sweet little baby. But then after that, we got him in Step Brothers as the angry dad. And I was like, now that makes more sense to me.
Now it's all coming together.
Okay, so Italy, she's eating, she's indulging, it's pleasure, she's learning the language, which, like, to be very honest, very reminiscent of like what I assume a travel book was going to be. I thought it was going to all be like Italy, right? Like just this overindulgence. And there's also something to be said about she's celibate, right? Yeah. And she's in Italy where like Italian men are horny as hell for her. And she's like, nope, I am falling in love with me and my food and being here. And that's the first leg of her journey.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that like in the beginning, she's come out of this marriage. She's going right into this, you know, really intense relationship with food and herself and like not giving a shit if she's attractive or not.
Yeah.
And then you go kind of the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Once she starts going to, then she's got India where that's where she learns to pray and she's doing discipline, her spiritual struggle, meditation, and then finishing in Bali with Indonesia with love. And I will just say, I mean, like I want to touch on India, because to me that's like the most beautiful part of the book is, you know, there's just so much, again, to her internal dialogue where she's finding things out about herself. Like, she had to come to terms with the fact that she sucked. And she was not being a good person. She was not, like, a lot of the shit she was blaming on her bad marriage was more like, you let this happen.
And she was so self-destructive. Immediately got in a relationship after the divorce. Immediately.
Yep.
Yeah. She's also in India for a very long time in the book. In the movie, it's like blip and then back and then blip. And you're just like, what's happening? Okay, so everything is very fast in the movie, which obviously, you know, you only have so much screen time, right? But
you know how like they're redoing a lot of these like books and movies and stuff. This would be such a good mini series HBO type show.
Yes.
Where if they were to give it the proper time, especially coming off the like, you know, White Lotus Buddhism, you know, world right now, but they showed you more in the movie. I think they really relied on the fact that they were where she's describing the beautiful places that she is and the temples and how it changed how she felt. They just kind of were like, we'll show you a picture of it. Visual. Here it is, and we're gone.
It's very visual. I think that's one of the biggest differences for the movie and the book is the fact that you get so much of her inner dialogue in the book, like so much more praying, so much more figuring out who she is, who she wants to be, where she wants to go in life. And then the movie is way more like the visual, the food, the people she meets. Because even some of the characters that are in the book are very, very small compared to what they put in the movie. Like Giovanni in the movie, you know, ends up in a relationship with the girl that she meets at the coffee shop that she's trying to order the coffee in Italian and she can't. That doesn't happen in the book, but it works for the movie because it kind of helps the story go along where it's like this guy is this beautiful Italian man and he's not jumping her bones. He's in love with this other girl that he met and they fall in love and, you know, whatever. But I think she's making all of these friends, but they're much smaller parts in the book until you get to, is it India or Bali? I always get the two confused, where she meets and befriends the Waylon.
Oh, Wayan?
Wayan.
Yeah, that's in Bali.
That's in Bali.
Yeah. And so that... She also stays in Bali way longer than she's supposed to in the book. So in the book, she can only stay there for 30 days, but she ends up paying someone money to be able to stay there for like months. And I just thought that was very interesting because in the movie, they really make you feel like she does that whole really nice thing where she, you know, emails all of her friends to get money to buy her friend a house, the healer, the medicine woman, a house. And in the book, it's like a main point of the storyline where you go through like these different stages of like you're not really sure how to react because basically what happens is this woman is given this money. She's so excited, but then she doesn't do anything with it. It just sits in her bank account. And her Liz's friends are like, hey, we gave you all this money.
Yep.
You're about to leave. It has been months, and this woman still hasn't used the money to buy this property.
And it's nerve-wracking to have that much cash sitting in someone's account because the currency can drop at any moment.
Exactly. And
someone could take advantage of her.
And that's where it starts to tie in is like she then goes to Felipe, whatever. Felipe. That's not how you say it.
Felipe?
You know why?
I think it might be Felipe.
Shout out to D. Felipe's Bakery where we grew up. Best Italian bakery.
So he kind of like, obviously I'm jumping a little bit, but he's in the picture and she asks him like, what should I do? Like, how do I handle this? And again, in the movie, none of that happens. She immediately starts building the house. Like she's doing it immediately. Like the little girl's playing with the little tile and then the next minute they're building the house. In the book, she goes and has a conversation with her and says like, hey, my friends want to know what's going on. Like, why haven't you purchased you know, this property? And she basically says like, oh, well, I thought I could buy just a little piece of the property, but now the man wants the whole piece of property to be sold together.
Which was a lie.
If I could just get a little more money, then I could. And she's like, stop, you're bullshit. Which is, I guess, in Bali, like, when you call someone that, that's a big, like, bad, right?
It's a big bad.
And she basically says, well, I don't want to be bullshit. And she's like, well, you are. like do something. And then literally that night she ends up, I think she calls her, but then I was like, wait, do they have phones? I'm like, yeah, they would have had phones.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, I need a photocopy of it.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole page on this because
Okay.
I'm very passionate about traveling to developing countries and being very aware of the privilege it is. Because it's not hard work. I just happen to be from a country where my currency is worth a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And so it's so like inspirational how generous she is. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've obviously never done something like that. But when I visit developing countries, sometimes it can get frustrating because you're constantly haggling with people. Mm-hmm. There's no set price on anything because it's whatever people think you're willing to pay. Mm-hmm. And the bus fares are sometimes 2-3 times more than the locals. Mm-hmm. But what I always have to remember is that when you're visiting developing countries that are dependent on tourism, these are people's livelihoods. It's how they support their family. And so there's a power dynamic there. And if you're tired of haggling after 2 weeks, imagine that being your whole life.
Right.
And so $18,000, I think it was. Mm-hmm. This woman's never coming back. She's telling her, I'm leaving in 2 days. You have to spend it. It's only natural that she's trying to see, is there any more money? Like, this is my last chance. This is my future. Yep. And so I'm actually really glad they didn't put that in the movie because it's a very nuanced conversation that I don't think would have come across on screen.
Wouldn't translate well.
And in a movie, like, how do you do that? If it was a show, right, and you had multiple episodes where you could really dive into the dimensions of this woman and what she's gone through, you don't get any of that in the movie. Mm-hmm. So that's very true.
Yeah, I was really glad they didn't include it in the movie. On to the movie, though, I don't know how y'all felt. I feel like what I didn't like was the pacing of the movie. It was both rushed and way too long.
Yes. How can it be both of those things?
You know what it is like you lose. I have it in my notes here. Like, I was a little bit frustrated because you lose, Book Elizabeth is super introspective, super self-critical, but she's willing to show that to people. Mm-hmm. And especially when you're in, here it is. Okay, so like Italy, especially with her language learning, she's learning detailed. Like, she is fast track learning Italian. She is giving all of her time to diving into this culture, diving into the language.
Fully immersing herself.
Like, truly rewatching it, Katie, reminds me of like what you do on Broad Abroad. When you go to these countries, when you go to these places, you're not there as a tourist, even though you are. You're like, I don't want to go on your tour. Yeah. That's going to see the pretty shiny things. I want to see what this country is about. I want to meet the locals, talk to the locals. Mm-hmm. They glossed over that so much in Italy, and it was just food, romance, fat pants.
Yeah. And agreed. Agreed.
Like, and it's the same thing with India. It's like she has all these beautiful, beautiful internal breakthroughs that like really do resonate when you're reading them, especially as a woman in today's world right now that we're in. It is pretty universal. Some of those things are pretty universal, and you're able to get, without doing the intense work, to the other side of the breakthrough. And you kind of go through it with her. Yeah. In the movie, she's just hanging out, getting, yelled at by, what's his name?
Richard.
Billy Crudup. And and Richard Jenkins just yelling at her and this thing, and it's like, yes, you still get those really beautiful breakthrough scenes. You get those really good speeches where he's like yelling in her face and he's telling her like, if you want to be better, if you want to, you can be, but you're being a freaking brat. Like you're stuck inside of your head. And I think they did a good job bringing that to screen, but that's all you get. And that's such a blip. Blip in India.
You know what's funny too is in the movie, I don't know that they really dive into this at all. I'm trying to remember. I'm probably like overlapping the movie with the book, but there's the whole part where when she comes to the
ashram.
Yes. Yeah. She comes in and she, meets Richard. He's like the first guy, whatever. And then she also, in the movie, she sees a woman that has a tag on her shirt that says like in silence or whatever.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah.
And what's really interesting is in the book, you get way more of that where she goes through all these different stages. She really struggles with meditation. Like she has a really hard time quieting her thoughts. Like she cannot turn off her brain. And what's really interesting is Richard like really helps her through all of that throughout the book. Like he's such an important, he's kind of like the little guy on the shoulder where he's like talking.
I know. I just
advice.
love though that he's just like done exactly what she did, but never came back from it.
Yeah.
He was like, nope, I did this. I've been where you were. I was 10 times worse and I'm not going back.
Yeah.
Because I'm not good enough to go back. I'll go right back into my old self.
Exactly. And I think it was really cool to see how she got to a point where she was like, this is just not working. Like, I cannot quiet my thoughts. I cannot. And then I don't know if it's Richard or I forget who. Maybe it was one of the things that she went to where she heard someone say something about it. But she basically realizes like, wait, maybe I'm not supposed to quiet my thoughts. Like maybe my meditating is listening to my inner dialogue, my inner thoughts, my inner wants, needs, whatever. And then silence. Like that's when she's finally able to sit for hours in complete silence. And then she goes into the whole thing where she wants to get a purchase, like she's like, oh, I'm going to purchase 4 tags so that I can be silent. And then immediately the front desk is like, hey, actually, we really need you to be the like person that
Susie
welcomes.
cream cheese.
Yes.
Little Susie cream cheese.
And I like really appreciated that because it's such a like, it really shows you her, like how deep she really goes and then realizes like, wait, that's just not me. Like, I'm just not that person, and that's okay. Like, my peace doesn't come from the silence. My peace comes from being with people, talking to people, helping people. And I was like, huh. And you get a little teeny bit of that in the movie, but you don't get it to the depth that you get it in the book.
I know.
Yeah.
And have you done something like that, Katie?
Never.
No.
I can eat and I can love, but I hate meditating. I can't even sit and read a book. I listen to this while walking around, cleaning, organizing something. I probably have undiagnosed something.
Yeah.
It's ADHD. I have it. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
So does she.
So
Nice
the
to
few
meet you.
times I've tried to meditate, it is horrible.
It
like,
doesn't work.
Yeah. This would be a really good challenge for me maybe later in life. It's something that eventually I want to do is meditate because I know that as someone who's anxious, it would benefit me so much.
Yeah.
The whole chapter, I was like, I could never do this. Never, ever, ever.
But you know what's really interesting about that and hearing you say that too, it's like, I wonder though if it's something where like it's the same kind of thing where it's like, no, I could never do that. And then you get into that place and you struggle, but then you finally realize like all the things that you were not believing in yourself or like whatever the thought process might be. But then finally you're like, wait, it's okay. Like the way I do self-care and self-love is going to be different than the person next to me. And that's okay. And it's like coming to that realization of like, wait, I don't have to sit in silence. Like I can meditate by listening to a book if that's how I'm going to do it. So I don't know. I thought that was really cool. And I do miss it from like, it definitely was something that I was like, didn't do it in the movie, but okay. You get a little bit, but not.
And then we get to Bali, right? We get to Indonesia. And to me, this is like, I love this part of the movie.
Yeah.
But they definitely saved, I feel like India, they shortened in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I felt like with Bali, they were just like really capitalizing on how it looked. They were like, yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time here because it's Gorgina, which you have been, right?
I've been to Thailand.
Yep.
Never Bali.
Never Bali.
In the beginning, you get more of you get more of Liz being, or going to Ketut and being like, I'm back. Like, you said I would come back and all this stuff. And I appreciated the way that they did it in the movie because I think it's hard to like have all of this stuff that happens in those chapters in a very little bit of time in a movie. And I think that they tried to like cover a lot of it without diving too deep into any of it.
Yeah, I think that was the problem.
And I think because this last part is supposed to be her finally accepting that she deserves to be loved and to find the person that would give her that love.
Javier Bardem.
And
can give anything on me, love.
So I thought this was kind of cool is that the obviously they're actors, but Liz in real life, she married the guy, the same guy.
She married her Philippe?
And wrote a book about it.
Yes. And I was like, okay, that's cute. Like I
like that.
I almost, here's my, this was like a little bit of a thought that I had, and maybe everyone's going to feel very differently about this, but I almost was like disappointed that she found someone, because I felt like so much of this book is about her finding herself and how she always needs that other, she needed that man to fill
can I tell
a
you,
void.
'Tis me. And rereading that, and it sounds so, this is like so counterintuitive, but being a 38-year-old woman who's been in a relationship with a man for 15 years, it wasn't until I was in this relationship that I was able to be like, I didn't need, I was a serial like,
yeah,
I had boyfriends all the freaking time. I had a lot of them, but
But you never did like a significant stretch of being single in your adult life?
I needed attention from men so badly for validation, like embarrassingly so. And again, rewatching this and revisiting this as an adult, it's just like, it's so much that like I've had to work through, and like I'm so grateful for having such a wonderful partner who's allowed me to work through that in a relationship, because it sucked the first 2 years.
Felipe. Why can I not say that name?
Because you just want to say he's your Javier Bardem.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem. But you really like, you know, when you get secondhand embarrassment when you're like reading a book or watching a show, especially, oh my God, a Bravo show, like when you're watching these young 20-year-old girls on these shows, or like when I'm watching Love Island clips and I'm like, oh my God, who the hell would act like that? If I was on that show, I would be, first of all, great content, skyrocketing reviews. I would be so embarrassing. Like just so, like I get secondhand embarrassment because I'm like, I would be worse.
Yeah.
I'm not even judging this girl. I would be worse. Like so much worse. And that's how I felt reading parts of this section of the book, because it was just like, I agree with you. At the time reading this, I was like, oh, I'm so glad she found her love story. Now she can feel whole. And then revisiting it as an adult, I'm like, she did not need him. He's wonderful. I was hoping that maybe she would go back and be like, actually, I love myself, but I can also love him, and then go back to him. Yeah. That is not what happened.
But in the book, that is more of what happens,
and it's
right?
a slow burn.
Yes.
Their love grows.
And I think, too, like, she doesn't, like, run to meet him at the boat. Like, there's no letter written where she says, like, meet me at the boat. You know, like, that doesn't happen in the book, and I appreciate that. I think in the movie, obviously, they had to give some kind of, like...
It's Javier Bardem.
We have to end up with him, right? And so I love a good, you know, romance. So of course I was like, yes, this is wonderful, lovely, perfect. But then I was also like, wait. Also, it's okay for her to not need that. Like, you know, she could be, because really in the span of, you know, what is this, like a year, 2 years that this kind of happens.
I think the movie, it's like...
The movie's a year.
A year. But
in the book, it's a year of travel, but there's the years before of getting the divorce.
Yes. Exactly. And also, I'm realizing in the book, she is divorced. In the movie, she's separated going through the divorce.
In the book, she's married to Billy Crudup's character, right? Yep. What's his name? Steven. Divorces him.
Yes.
Immediately gets with shithead James Franco, which is hilarious because James Franco sucks as a person anyway.
So it works.
And they kind of gloss over that in the movie, where it's interesting because she really throws herself on the sword in the book. She's like, no. Yeah. I was divorced for I wasn't even divorced. I was separated for 3 seconds before I got into this relationship.
And she says, like, there's several times where it comes up where she's like, well, maybe I should just go back to him. Like, maybe this is not where I'm
she's
supposed
thinking
to be.
up until Bali, like, should I call him?
Yes.
And then they added that stupid scene in India where he calls her and is like, how's the ashram going? I'm like, what? What I also thought was really interesting, movie to book, is in the book, she respects her husband's privacy. She's like, I will not get into why we got a divorce.
Yes.
It's not my
100%.
place to say. I'm protecting everyone's privacy in the book. Anyone who I say their real name, I have asked them. And in the movie, for whatever reason, they make him like a loser that like doesn't know what he's doing with his life, can't choose a path to go,
can't hold a baby,
doesn't know how to hold a baby.
He's like holding her like, what is this? And he's the one that wants kids.
Yeah.
Dayelle's mom, Darb, is like, nah.
Because my interpretation of the book is that they ended for much more serious reasons.
Yeah. Agreed.
Even though she doesn't get into it, I thought maybe there was infidelity or like
100%.
Yeah.
Maybe abuse. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
And in the book, she's a well-renowned author, but she's not like a quadrillionaire author, where in the movie it's like she's an insanely wealthy woman, and she's, you know, he can't complain because she's giving him all the houses and, like, you know, all the money where, you know, Elizabeth Gilbert's come out and said, like, yeah, I had a decent amount of money, but like I was traveling strictly on the money given to me for this book. Like it was not coming from other places.
And I think that's like an interesting way to look at it too, is I think that's what makes the book and the movie so different, is like those two very
different views.
Yeah.
Do you still love the movie? Because I'll be honest with you, I have a soft spot for this movie because I loved those Julia Roberts pizza scenes, and I loved those moments with Javier Bardem, who seemed, they didn't give all of it, but like he's kind of a grumpy person a little bit, like he's a little
grumpy
bit of
sunshine.
Yeah, a little grumpy sunshine. You don't really get that as much. He does a really good job just because of who he is and the way his body is and his big, you know, raw man. But
also, he almost runs Julia Roberts over, which does not happen in the book. It's a bus that hits her, and then she gets an infected leg.
It's so Regina. From
and
Mean
like
Girls.
the son visits for some reason.
Yes, and he kisses him on the lips because that's like a thing.
I
Kisses
totally,
his adult son on the lips.
When I was rewatching, I was like, that's so Tom Brady. Do you remember when Tom Brady kissed all of his kids on the lips in the documentary, and everyone was like,
It's like that SNL skit.
yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Come here. As a movie, as a travel movie, I really appreciate that they went to all the real locations.
Yes. And she went to, when she said that they were going to shoot in Bali, she was like, I will do this if you let my family come with me.
Her family traveled with her the whole time. And I don't know for sure, but it seems like they used real people from those countries.
It did.
Which is my criticism of the Thailand White Lotus is they flew in so many actors. And I was like, you couldn't find any Thai people to play these characters? So I really, really like that they seem to have cast people who are really from those countries.
Yeah, it felt very authentic.
Very authentic.
Yeah.
You know, definitely some pacing issues, but as far as like costumes and set, all of that I thought couldn't have been done any better.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember when Javier Bardem got shit because he's Spanish and he's supposed to be Brazilian?
Yeah.
And then I remember everyone was like, it's Javier Bardem.
Like, why
Who
do you
cares?
care?
We
Let's
need the
get
star
a
power.
shirtless
Did you see
shot and shut up.
Like, what?
And you know that she said Julia Roberts did gain 10 pounds during the Rome segments because they were eating the food. And she was like, I am not going to be here and not eat this fucking food. Give me that pizza.
Exactly.
Good for her.
I'm so jealous.
Also, I forgot this. This is a fun fact that I wrote down. Liz wrote another book that's about her husband, about, you know,
Felipe?
her real,
Javier Bardem?
His name is Jose Nunes.
Nunez?
And the book it's another memoir of their relationship. It's called Committed.
All right.
Yes, and they did get a divorce in real life.
Yes.
Oh,
and then she briefly dated a woman, and I am not sure.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, I'm not sure what her current relationship
queen.
status is.
Get it? I like it.
I'll say it all the time. I will gladly leave Henry for a lady if he ever tries to leave me. This was actually one of the very few PG-13 rated movies that used the word motherfucker, which had not been done before.
I can't even remember when it's said.
It's our boy Richard.
Yeah.
He said, she thinks I changed my name to motherfucker.
Oh.
And so it was originally rated R because of that line.
Wait a minute. I think they bleep it out in the Netflix version.
Well, Ryan Murphy fought for it, and he appealed for them to re-rate the movie, and they got a PG-13 and left it in.
Right. So, but Netflix, you know how they do those weird things where they like cut stuff weirdly? So there's a moment where he says something and nothing comes out of his mouth.
I just watched it last night, and I maybe wasn't paying enough close attention.
Do it again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not in the movie.
It's also interesting how they changed that. In the movie, she's like really grinding her gears with him. They don't like each other at first. And then he has this like monologue where he confesses that he almost killed his kid in the driveway because he was an alcoholic.
Yes.
In the book, it's not like that at all. She immediately is like, he's an alcoholic and worked a million different jobs, and now he meditates.
He also never almost killed his kid.
Yeah, it's weird the things they
like
added.
Real dark.
I don't understand why they added some things to it. Like, they also add the friend in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why they did that to, like, speed the plot along. Instead of her living with her sister, they, like, invented this friend.
Sister. in the movie. The sister is not a
Yeah,
thing.
a lot of characters get cut or combined into one character, like Giovanni.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all her Italian friends I kind of combine into the one Swedish girl whose accent is so going in and out in the movie.
I was rewatching it, and I'm like, why is she completely American? Nope. We're back. Hey, we're American again. Which, I get it. Listen.
They couldn't find a Swedish actor? I just don't understand. Casting directors.
This is coming from Katie the actress.
Yeah.
Not the Katie the travel podcast.
I would have eaten this up. What a freaking dream to travel for a year and act.
Gosh.
We're going to find that for you.
Yeah.
Also, the
Let's
pizzeria
recreate it.
in the movie is L'Antica Pizzeria di Michele, located in Via Cesare Sasal in Naples, Italy. And this is actually really funny. So newspapers reported that the movie created an issue in Rome due to a creative license made by the filmmakers. The city of Rome hosts 2 football teams. This is so funny. This is a very inside baseball type thing.
Yeah.
So Rome hosts 2 football teams, soccer to us. AS Rome and SS Lazio, they are diehard fierce rivals, like Yankees Red Sox level. Okay? In the book, on which the film obviously is based, but they made it clear that when they were in Rome, she went to go see the SS Lazio match. Except when they made the movie, the filmmakers switched it to the AS Rome match. And it pissed Lazio fans off so much to the point where the production had to issue a press statement that no offense was implied and that Julia Roberts, is not an AS Roma fan because she was getting death threats.
Because of it?
Yes.
The mosquito scene. What is with the mosquito? Where she's like, it's okay. They'll go, the bug bites will just go away after
you get malaria.
500 have bitten me. I struggled reading it because it's long. And she just talks about the mosquitoes biting her and how like she's so disgusted by it. But yet then she realizes like, no, I'm meditating. Like it's fine. And I had to bring it up. I'm sorry.
It's disgusting.
That would not.
I would die.
No.
Well, okay, back to our traveler.
Yeah.
That's a real fear I have. Like truly, I'm not even kidding. I am not, and everyone in this office can attest this. I will not kill a spider. I will not kill a fly. I will not kill an ant. I rescue them. I have a specific spider cup at home. My fear of mosquitoes and like because I am that whatever the blood type is that mosquitoes love,
yeah,
that's
same.
me. I'm outside 2 seconds, bug bites everywhere through jeans, through denim.
Yes, same.
Me too.
What do you do when you travel? This is like a real fear I have.
Yeah.
I have an answer.
Okay,
so I went to rural Panama and Colombia, and it was recommended to get the yellow fever vaccine because if you get yellow fever, it is fatal.
Yes.
And actually, they tried to build the Panama Canal a couple times, and the first time they had to stop because so many people got yellow fever and died.
Yep.
So it is if you certain rural places in Central and South America, you will want to consider getting a yellow fever vaccine.
But like, what do you do when you're being bit like crazy?
I know. So in Japan, they say like when you go to the more rural areas or like any garden areas, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Like
is that why they wear the mosquito hats? Like you just wear the little netting on your face?
Or like the
nets are
full-on,
best.
like everything is covered, right? And so I was like, what? But what do I do? Because they will find me and they will eat me. I keep seeing people talk about, do you remember Skin So Soft?
Yes,
from
of course
Avon?
I do. Avon, baby.
Yeah, and my mom used to use it on us when we would go outside
same
to play.
thing for mosquitoes.
Just like all over. So I bought it and we'll see.
Okay, you're going to smell like a 90s mom in the best way. I'm so excited for
I'm
you.
gonna be so shiny.
It's like that baby powdery smell.
Yes. I got it in a spray bottle. I was like, oh, this is great.
This is pretty
they
good,
didn't
actually.
have spray bottles back then. It came in a giant bottle and you'd like...
It was the baby oil bottle.
If you
and you'd be like,
tip
glug,
it
glug.
a little bit, it would just go everywhere.
That's like BioSilk for your hair.
But I've
Remember when that was
heard,
popular?
so what's funny about it is some people are like, that doesn't do anything, and then other people swear by it. But I remember as a kid, my mom would
my mom did. Yeah.
literally put it everywhere, and we weren't getting bit as kids. So I'm hoping.
I just worry about that. Like when you were in Guatemala and stuff, were bugs an issue? I know that's last season fodder because she went to Guatemala last season.
Yes. In season 1, I went to Lake Atitlan for my 30th birthday, and we were warned in the Airbnb reviews there will be scorpions and there will be spiders.
Okay, that's the only thing I'm afraid of. I'm telling you right now, Scorpions and quicksand.
Yeah.
Did you see one?
Yes, we did see scorpions. And they're impossible to keep out because the place didn't have AC. It was just, windows open,
Right, so everything's
feel
open.
the breeze.
But I love that. I just don't want everything else that comes with it.
Do they tell you to like check your shoes?
Yeah.
But you're used to that because they have them in Texas.
Yeah, I'm from Texas
Yeah.
where mosquitoes are a huge problem. The first summer we moved back to Texas, I was a little kid playing in the backyard, and when I came in for the next few days, I was covered in over 200 mosquito bites that started to welt. They had to take me to the doctor and put cream all over me because they were
They're
like,
so bad.
yeah.
But you guys have scorpions too.
We have scorpions
Yeah.
as well.
And big spiders.
I've never been stung by a scorpion, but I hear it's
Lizards?
not so nice.
Like little tiny ones?
Yeah, we have
Geckos?
geckos.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cute.
They are cute. Their tails fall off though.
They sure do. And
I
they're
was really
gross,
surprised by
brown.
that. When
And
you
then they
like,
grow right
touch
back.
it and it just falls off and they run away and you're like, did I just kill that? Nope.
Well, when you were in Thailand, were bugs like a big issue?
Trying to
Because I
remember.
truly think about this to the point where it's kept me from going to these places.
Go in the winter.
If a bad thing can happen, it happens to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just so like, I want to go to these open air cabanas. Like you see all these influencers that go to these houses on the water in Bali.
No,
I'm the one that gets stung by the Portuguese man of war.
bugs weren't an issue in Thailand that I remember, but I think I've told you that my boyfriend Dan was bit by a monkey in Thailand.
Yeah.
And he had to get the rabies shot.
Yeah, which is
Monkeys are mean.
yeah.
Yeah. But no.
So that's a great way to wrap this.
Well, I do just want to say one more thing about Julia Roberts. The one thing, this is like bee in my bonnet. You know, like you have that one thing that like pisses you off in the adaptation so much, which is perfect for having you on this. So like the book is written as a woman in her 30s. She's 32 in the book. She is in her 30s. It is a very different person than 42-year-old Julia Roberts. She's also supposed to be quite plain looking and gets a little upset because she's like, none of these men in Italy are even looking at me. Like I'm invisible. And she's in her 30s. And I think your 30s are I'm in my 30s. It's a really important time to like, we're going through this like second phase of life, right? Like we are now supposed to be adults. It's like all this different phase of life. But when you have Julia Roberts, who looks like she shits $100 bills, she's so well put together.
Her hair is so beautiful in this
her
movie.
face, her skin, everything. She's such a
Her
beautiful
clothes.
person who's presented to be in her 40s. You lose that whole self-discovery aspect. It's more disgruntled housewife, not happy at home, less woman discovering herself at this like very pinnacle, perimenopausal point in life where it's like, if I don't have kids now, I will never be able to have them. Like the world is telling you your clock is ticking.
Yeah.
Where like a 40-something-year-old person back then, I mean, women are having babies in their 40s all the time now, but back then it was kind of like, no, you're closer to menopause. Like babies aren't happening in their 40s. And it kind of like, for me, you lose a lot of the plot making her, like they couldn't have picked like a more normal.
You mean they should have picked someone younger, you think?
A little bit younger and a little less.
Little plainer.
Stunningly beautiful. Like
Yeah.
someone said at that time, who I think she's absolutely gorgeous, but can play a little bit plainer, was like a young Cameron Diaz. Remember, like at that time she had that, if she didn't have a bunch of makeup on and just had mascara, she's beautiful, but she's not like, holy shit, stop walking, stop what you're doing. It's Julia Roberts.
Yeah, there's like
Beautiful.
a level of class, right,
Yeah,
that
she
Julia
just-
has that maybe didn't fit the character super well.
Yeah.
Because in the book, you get this very, like, she's broken and she's trying to figure out who she is, whereas Julia Roberts is Julia Roberts.
I felt that
So
I was
you
just
can't
being,
see anything
I thought I
else.
was just being a picky brat.
No.
But I think if they made her a little bit younger and a little bit less just perfect looking.
Yeah, and you know what's funny though is I don't even know that it's necessarily the age. I think if you got someone in there that is a more, I don't know that normal's the right word, but like someone that doesn't hold this like
Gravitas.
she
Yeah,
just has this
you're right.
aura about her where you're just like, I mean, like literally every movie she's been in, you're always like, yeah, okay, sure, she would, yeah, okay, she's a prostitute, yeah, sure, she is, okay, yeah. So it's like very believable that she falls in love with, the stunning beautiful man that takes her away and buys her all of her things.
We
Anyway,
haven't even talked about Katut, who's the cutest.
I mean, we talked about him a little bit.
I know, but I just really love him. And Katie, didn't you say he was like he's in the movie, right?
Yes. Okay. So the real Katut is, I believe, like a minor character or extra in the background of one of the scenes. And the actor who plays Katut, I think is a real Indonesian man. He did an amazing job at portraying him, I thought.
I love him.
And then the real Katut became a bit of a tourist attraction until he died in 2016. People were visiting him.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. It kind of makes me happy for him, but then it's also like you know how like now people are like, oh, we don't gatekeep this because we don't want it to get busy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like
It's tricky.
Well, she does keep the ashram. She's like, I don't want to bring too much attention to them that they haven't asked for. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think that happens a lot in today's world. I think that's why it would be hard to do something like this now, because every single place that's in the book would become a
tourist attraction. Well, look at like White Lotus. You just brought this up before. Look at what happened with the first season, right? Everybody's like, oh my God, I have to go to because these are all Four Seasons resorts. Everybody's like, oh, I've got to go to this, you know, the one in Hawaii, which Hawaii is very focal right now. Like, leave us the hell alone. We do not need any more tourists. We don't want the tourists. You are ruining our island.
Yeah.
Islands.
It's I think that's the thing. It's the over tourism, right?
Yes.
So there's like the normal amount of tourism that is healthy and is good for the place that they are traveling, but then there's the over tourism where it's just the places that they're going cannot keep up with the influx of people that are coming and are not being respectful and are not being like, you know, they're just coming because they saw it on TikTok.
And to the credit of like, you know, just to kind of tie in why we asked you to be on here, that's just, if you want to talk a little bit about when you were just in Korea, what you were doing, it's like very similar. It's you go to these places that people commercialize almost, tourists do, and it's really easy to get caught up in that. So if you want to kind of just tell us like a couple things that you did just to prove like there are real people here, guys. This is not just a vacation destination. People live here all year round.
Yeah, with Broad Abroad, I am very passionate about traveling curiously and actually talking to the people who live there. And I really liked in the book, and they didn't include it in the movie, how she learns a lot about each country and also can recognize these countries' problems. She first thinks Bali in Indonesia is some like perfect place. And then digging a little deeper, she realizes, oh no, this country definitely has some problems. And so that's what I do with Broad Abroad is I try to learn a little bit of the language from every place. So in Korean's pretty hard. I just learned hello and thank you. And then I interviewed my Korean American friend about what it's like growing up between countries. And then I interviewed her family friend who's a professor all about his life in Korea. He is turning 70 years old and has seen Korea go from absolute poverty, war-torn nation to the 12th richest country in the world, and all the history leading up to that and how that happened. So I love traveling and taking photos and trying the food and meeting new people, but also I think it's really important when traveling to learn about the history, the politics, the culture. So that's Broad Abroad.
And the new season's out.
And the new season's out.
Yay. And if, just like we are over on the YouTubing, you're over on the YouTubing.
Yeah, so, full videos.
Full videos, baby.
Yep.
Okay, so overall, as far as travel book movies go, is this a yay or a nay for you?
Or is this a watch it or read it, or both?
That was my next question.
I have to say,
I jumped ahead.
It's okay.
Eat, Pray, Love for me is 100% a read it.
Oh, we converted her.
And I don't even like reading, as you guys know.
We got her with fairy smut, though. We got her with some fairy smut.
Because I watched this movie when it first came out and was so bored. It's so long. And then last night I watched it again and I was like, still a little bored and it's a little long. I can really appreciate they went to the real places they filmed. And I thought the casting was overall pretty good, but the pacing, in my opinion, is really bad. That's all I have to say.
I'm going to say it's a read it for me, too. It's a read it. I love Julia Roberts. I thought the movie was fun when it came out. If I could differentiate this, if this was not an adaptation, Eat, Pray, Love the movie, cute. Great, cuddle up with rainy day kind of watch, like Lifetime movie type situation. But the book, I really enjoyed the book a lot. I stand by the book. All right.
Dayelle.
Go ahead. It's going to be hard for her because she loves
You going to mix
Roberts.
it up?
This is a hard one because I feel the same about the pacing of the movie. But I think, like, if you're not a reader, it's a good movie. Like, it's one of those movies that you're just like, no, it's cute. Like, I could tell my mom to watch it.
Yes,
and
it is
enjoy
cute.
It,
I would say cute is a good one.
Right? There's, like, nothing really in it that is, I mean, there's heavy stuff, obviously, but it glosses over the heavy stuff. Would I watch the movie again? Probably not.
Julia, are you listening?
I think I've watched it now. This would be my, currently the fourth
time. It's on
time.
in the background.
Yeah,
oh, look at this. Is such a cute scene.
The fourth time, I think I'm good. I don't need to watch it again. I would say that this is a read it for me as well.
Oh, I love that we agree.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was hard.
I didn't see this coming
No.
because I had totally forgotten that you had read this. I thought you had watched it first. I was like, ooh, this is going to be hard because you do love your girl,
Yeah.
J. Rob.
Yeah.
I think they should remake it with me. I'm closer to the real age.
100%.
Agreed. Or we do it.
Or we just do it for Broad Abroad. I do
Yeah.
my own Eat, Pray, Love because
love
I've
it.
never been to any of these 3 countries.
Also, I won't fast forward through your video.
Thank you.
I might have done that.
Also, you can't find Javier Bardem because you have a
I have
you
my
have
own
a Dan.
Javier
Yeah.
Bardem.
Can we
have a Dan.
Let's change his name to protect him. So what would be his name?
His name? Well, he's super white. Maybe he can just kite surf up to the beach for you, and that's how you fall in love.
Yeah, there we go.
I like it. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
Okay. On that note, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.